Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astroguide Mysore. Today I have one of guest, and also he is one of my YouTube students. He is Mr. Bharat Gomadam. Can you please come and sit? So he is here today. So on behalf of all the students, let's say, so he is here so that we can discuss, and he wants to discuss some questions. So that let it be a question and answer session. So let us, I welcome Mr. Bharat here. So he is from Bangalore. So he has come all the way to meet me. So thank you, Bharat.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for
He has been repeatedly coming here and meeting me. So we decided that let us make it a conversation where it will be helpful for people who are there here, listening to me. As Bharat is a very fantastic student, he is very acute in his studies. And when I discussed with him, I found out that he has done a great achievement already.
So thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Excellent, Bharat. Let us go ahead.
Opportunity.
Thank you.
So yeah, we'll start with the questions, sir.
So you have formulated the questions depending on their requirement for the online viewers also, right?
I have done that way. Largely, the basic from the classes that you have conducted, all that I have followed,
Wow.
and the doubts that I had, I have accumulated over a period of time, and that is what I'm now fortunate to ask that in person.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Carry on.
So the first question is on the bhavas.
Okay.
Since a bhava spans over two rashis in a certain proportion, in most charts it happens like that.
Yeah, it happens because if the lagna is placed in 5 degrees,
yes,
or 27 degrees, then it actually spans
between two rashis.
Yeah.
So the lords of both those rashis can they be considered as the lord of that bhava, because they will have influence over that bhava, because that bhava spreads over two rashis. So for example, as you said, if the ascendant is at 25 degree or 29 degree, then the lagna lord, there will be two lagna lords, because in a proportion, let us say one lagna lord have 55% control over first bhava, the next lagna lord will have 45% control. So but still we cannot ignore that 45%. So it is quite, so can we say that that there are two lords for each bhava in that chart? In that
obviously, a very nice question. See, when I have taught about the bhavas and the rashis, I have made a video on bhavas and rashis, but that is a very basic video. But what he is asking is a little advanced in stage. See, let me take this particular. See, this is my laptop. So let me take this as one rashi. So if the lagna is sitting in the starting part of the rashi, the first house will not span the whole Rashi, right? So what will happen is, the first house will be from here and it will take a part of the previous Rashi. So if the Lagna is this side, the first house will be from here approximately and it will take a part of this Rashi. So if I take an example, Karka Rashi. So I have put 5 degrees Karka Rashi as the Lagna. So if this is Karka Rashi, we have Punarvasu Nakshatra, 4th pada, then till 3 degrees 20 minutes, then we have Pushya 1, 2, 3, 4, then we have Aslesha 1, 2, 3, 4, which is the whole set of Karka Rashi. So what is happening now, it is at 5 degrees means very clearly the point of ascendant is placed on Pushya first pada, Pushya 1. So that means the ascendant Nakshatra lord is Saturn. And the ascendant is also very much placed in Cancer. So the ascendant lord is moon only. But the ascendant lord cannot be shared. It will never be shared. It is moon only.
Okay.
But the first house will have characteristics mixed, inclusive of Gemini.
Oh, okay.
So 10 degrees of Gemini, that is the 20th degree of Gemini, till the 30th degree of Gemini is included in the first house, because this is at 5 degrees exact. So till 20th degree of Karka Rashi, that is Cancer, it is the first house. So that means we have a 60, 30, something like that, 65, 35 basis. You have 2/3, 1/3 of both Gemini and Cancer involving in the first house. So when we are seeing the characteristics of a person, we need to include that. It's a very nice question. So the same thing is applicable for the second house, the third house, the fourth house.
Yes.
So for example, what will happen if I go to the seventh house? Exactly the fifth degree of Capricorn becomes the midpoint of the seventh house. So the seventh house will now will span from 20th degree of Sagittarius till 20th degree of Capricorn. So that means Jupiter also has an important role to play in the married life of the person. We should not simply stick to Saturn. Because it is fifth degree in Capricorn, that doesn't mean that we should stick to only Saturn and that Uttarashada Nakshatra, that is only Sun. No, not only Saturn and Sun, we also have Jupiter playing there. Why? Because it spans, that house spans from Jupiter till Saturn. So many times when we do these calculations, Jupiter also will take the timing of an event for marriage. So before the Saturn Dasha comes, Jupiter Dasha's last bhukti can give marriage. So what we do is, we will see, okay, Saptamadipati is Saturn. So until Saturn comes, we will tell, okay, you have to wait for marriage. No. We will have done a mistake there. What will happen is, sometimes in Jupiter Mars itself, the marriage will have happened.
Okay.
You understand? So the event itself is changing. That means we have to consider this split Rashi giving rise to one house and how that amalgamates and gives. That's a fantastic thing.
And the more the ascendant is towards the edge of the Rashi, the more
the tendency of the other Rashi. Yes, exactly. That is why when it comes and falls in Rashi Ganda, particularly in Rashi Ganda, Gandantar Rashis, that is in Mula Nakshatra, Jyeshta Nakshatra gap, or between Revati and Ashwini, or in between Ashlesha and Maka Nakshatra, at that point if Lagna is placed, we need to be very careful. We need to be extra careful because it is jumping from Jupiter to Mercury. It is jumping from Mercury to Ketu. All these 3 points, it is jumping from Mercury to Ketu. We need to be very careful there.
Okay. Right, sir. Thank you. So the next question is, it's about the functional benefics, malefics and neutrals.
Okay.
So, in a classic book that as per B.V. Raman's 300 important combinations, the definition of a benefic and a malefic is mentioned.
Loud.
Oh, sorry. So, as per the classic definition of a benefic and a malefic, benefics are the planets which are the lords of 1, 5, 9 and the Kendras, 4, 7, 10, and provided that the Kendras are natural malefics. So that then they tend to be, get classified as benefic. And malefic's definition is lords of 3, 6 and 11 and lords of 4, 7, 10, provided that lords of 4, 7, 10 are the natural benefics. So there is a reverse here. And the neutrals are the lords of 2, 8 and 12. So these are the book has written.
That is the definition.
That's the definition.
Very good, yeah.
So when now 2 houses are owned by a planet, let us say one second house and one fifth house, one fourth house and one seventh house. So overall this planet, how do we classify it as a overall? Does it become neutral? Does he owns one evil house?
I use a particular technique in this. See, what he is trying to tell here is, if a lord, let me take first example as if a lord is a natural benefic, is a positional benefic for one lordship, but is a positional malefic in another lordship, then what should we do? Like for example, if I take up Libra ascendant, Jupiter is the third lord and the sixth lord. So as per your book, what does it say?
Third,
it's a malefic.
Both are malefic houses.
It's a malefic. It is a natural benefics becoming a malefic tatkalika dushtagraha for that jataka, that is for that horoscope. So now, how should we take if this Jupiter is placed in the 5th house or if this Jupiter is placed in the 7th house? Is this the question?
Yes, and for that native, that overall, that
whether
Jupiter
it is
is
good result or bad result.
Jupiter is overall a good or bad for
Exactly.
that
Very good. Very excellent question. In this peculiar case, when I took Libra, it is the Upachaya Sthana Adipati double. Why? Third and sixth. Because Upachaya Sthana means 3, 6, 10, 11. So Upachaya Sthana Adipati means the Lord of growth. Lord of the house of growth. So Jupiter, if it is the third and the sixth lord and is a natural benefic, we all know that, and it is a temporary malefic for that particular chart. Anyway, for that chart, it's a permanent malefic only. And if it is placed in the fifth house, it will be an extraordinary benefic.
Oh.
That's what is the fun. A malefic, if it is a natural benefic, if owns Upachaya Sthanas and is placed in a Trikona, the person will go into research, he will go into high level studies. You know, he can become a very good surgeon, very good doctor. So this is a very high level question. It's a very advanced question. So I'll take another example. A beautiful question anyway. For same Libra Lagna, it's easy to understand now. For the same Libra Lagna, the fourth and the fifth lord is Saturn.
Correct.
Now, as per your definition, the fourth lord, if it is a malefic, it becomes a benefic.
If they are natural malefic, it becomes a overall. Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
If it is a natural malefic, right?
Yes.
Right. But it is also the fifth lord. But it is a natural malefic. Now it should become a malefic. The peculiarity of this particular point is, since it is having dual lordship, if it was not having dual lordship, then it was a very different case. With regard to sun and moon, this is the problem. But since it is having dual lordship, that is Saturn, both the fourth and the fifth lord, alone it gives rise to a very strong Raja Yoga. Wherever it is posited in the chart, it will do that house, it will do good. Wherever it is posited in the chart. That is why Yoga Karakas have been clearly mapped. If a malefic, see the definition is, even B. Raman accepts this particular point. He is a Guruji and he is our, he is the father of astrology for India, for modern astrology in India. So, if a malefic is owning a Kendra and a Trikona and is posited in a Shubha Sthana. So there is a very beautiful explanation for what is a Shubha Sthana. Shubha Sthana means benefic house. The planet which is concerned is a malefic, natural malefic. It should be placed either in the house or sign owned by Jupiter, house or sign owned by Mercury, or house or sign owned by Venus. We call this as Shubhasthanas. In the regular horoscope, the four corners, as per the South Indian, it's easy to understand. Four corners, that is Pisces, Gemini, Virgo, and Sagittarius, and Taurus and Libra. So these 6 houses, if Saturn is posited, it will give extraordinary benefic results to Libra.
Okay, for Libra.
But what usually happens is, people will see 4th and 5th lord sitting in the 3rd house. Oh, it's not good because it is sitting in Sagittarius. Because Saturn, it's sitting in the enemy's house. But it is the 3rd house. Saturn in the 3rd house will give good results. You have that positional wise.
Yes.
If Saturn in the 6th house will give good results, position wise. But same Saturn in the 8th house for Libra should give bad results. But I'll tell you, it will give long life and good results for that native. In the 9th house, that is in Gemini, it will give good results. Even in the 12th house, it will give extraordinary results abroad. And even in Lagna, it will give you Sasa Yoga. So, I want every student to take up each and every planet, make this work out. Where it is, and if it sits there, what it is to that Lagna. It's a beautiful exercise.
Correct.
Though it is a malefic, it is a yoga karaka. all the major houses, what I told you, the third house, the sixth house, the eighth, the ninth, and the 12th, and the Lagna, it is excellent. It is giving very good results. So there are negative. See, every planet will not give only positive results. We know that.
Okay.
Because we know that if a planet can give you wealth, Jupiter, the same planet can give you kidney dysfunction. So now if you tell I don't want kidney dysfunction, you will not have wealth also. It's like it is giving you this, it will giving you that, it will give you that. You will have to take it, both hands. A poison and amrita in both hands. You have to accept. You cannot tell I don't want this, I don't want that, I only want this. That is your prarabdha karma. You have asked for it and you have given it. That's it. So each planet, even Jupiter, I have a classic chart which I have explained already in one of my videos, where Jupiter is the exalted in the Lagna, and that boy, that man, is suffering from kidney dysfunction from his 4th year of his birth, when he was a 4-year-old child. Jupiter exalted in the ascendant, because it is the 6th lord from Karaka Rashi.
Okay.
And because it is the 9th lord, he got a lot of property, he made a lot of property, he got a good wife, he got nice land, he is staying like a king. All that is fine, he has good money, he is well protected. But he still has the kidney dysfunction. He has gone through 2 kidney transplants. So what I am trying to tell you is, you can't only have the cake and eat it. You even have to take the
So,
other part.
what I overall understand from this explanation is this one planet can be both good and bad for that, by that ownership.
Correct.
Of that
Now
house.
I gave you the second
So,
example.
it doesn't neutralize something and become a neutral. That doesn't. That situation
it doesn't happen.
That doesn't
You
happen.
cannot see any planet being neutral. It acts like neutral, but when the time comes, it will roll and event. See, in the second example, what I gave, the first example I gave you about Saturn. Before that, I gave you about Jupiter. But the last example I gave you of that kidney dysfunction guy, it was Karaka Rashi, that is Cancer, which is the Lagna. Jupiter is the 6th lord. Though it is the 9th lord, it's a natural benefic.
And
Being the 6th lord, sitting in the Lagna in first house, it becomes an inimical planet. Inimical planet is directly it hits. So it has hit. It has hit, and for your information, there is a strong Gajikasiri yoga in the chart. Lagna Adipati is also sitting in the Lagna. So I have done that chart. It's there online. People can refer that chart. I'll put that particular chart in the end of this particular video. It will be easy for you people to understand.
Okay. Got it. So as an extension of that same question, part of it I think you already answered. When a natural benefic turns into a functional malefic, the ill effects reduced to to that native, because the planet in concern is naturally a benefic. So he cannot
We have done that explanation as to who are natural benefic, functional benefics, and functional benefics. From any given house, if I take the 3 houses behind and 3 houses ahead, we have done that.
Yes,
they are all functional
the 5-fold
benefics.
relationship has
Exactly.
all that has been done. So here what I wanted to ask was, for example, Jupiter. That Jupiter is naturally a benefic, natural benefic in everybody's life. But in a particular chart, it turns out to be a functional malefic. Will the bad effects due by virtue of owning that ill house, will it anyway get reduced because it is Jupiter, or
No, it will enhance. The bad house owned by a benefic planet, which turns to become negative for a chart, it will enhance the bad quality of that house. But the other way around, if Jupiter owns a bad house in the chart, one bad house in the chart, and then sits in another bad house in the chart, being the natural benefic, it's not owning a good house. So it is owning a bad house and still sitting in another bad house. So for example, very clearly for Libra, it is the 6th lord and when it is sitting in the 12th house in Virgo. So for Libra, it is the 6th lord, and when it is sitting in the 12th house, then it is a double malefic. It becomes a huge malefic. It might give him abroad travel, it might give him everything else, but one day it will hit very badly. So we need to get prepared for that particular period of Jupiter in that particular chart. You know, the Upadashas of Jupiter are to be very carefully dealt with. Because sudden loss of job, sudden loss of money, sudden loss of property, he is suddenly going into litigation, going into some suspension, you know, some unnecessary allegations. All this I have seen. You know, suddenly person is arrested. He doesn't know why he is arrested. You know, then they see that there are charges framed on him. Then he can't go anywhere. He is like, he has to prove himself innocent. It is like out of nowhere, a benefic is the only planet without giving you any clue, he will suddenly make a very big event roll.
Oh, bad event roll.
But the reverse of a negative planet also applies in this case. A negative planet owning a benefic house, sitting in a benefic house.
Yes.
A negative planet owning a benefic house, sitting in a benefic house will give double benefics. It will give double benefits.
So both ends are true.
Both ends are true.
Okay.
But each and every chart, anyway, after all this, each and every chart is very unique. We need to check everything.
True.
But these points are important.
Okay. These have to be individually analyzed by an astrologer.
Yes.
Right. So can we move forward?
I think yes, we can do one more question.
Yes. So, what is the difference between the Adipati of a house and the Karaka planet for the significations of that house?
There's a lot of difference. See, Adipati means the lord of that house. Like for example, for Mesha Lagna, Mars is the Adipati. The Karaka for the first house, obviously it is Sun. The, like for example, for Adipati, Dvitiya Adipati means second lord. So for Mesha Lagna, Dvitiya Adipati is Venus. But for Karaka for second house, it is Jupiter. And in some cases, Moon. Like that, Tritiya Adipati is Mercury. For Mesha Lagna, Tritiya Adipati. So Adipati means the lord of the house. And as per your first question, now lord of the third house can be two people, two planets. Because it might be split in between Gemini and Cancer. So lord of the third house, then I will tell 60% Mercury, 40% Moon. But lord of the fourth house is that, but if I tell who is the Karaka for it, Moon is the Karaka for the fourth house for Mother, Shukra is the Karaka for the fourth house for Sukha. So that is the difference. It's not a, it's a practically different. It's theoretically totally different.
Okay, then which of these planets will hold a higher power on that?
For that event of that particular thing. We need to see all the three, not only two, we need to see three. First one is the lord of that house, Adipati. Second is the Karaka, signifier. The third one is very, very important. People will miss out this point. Where that lord of that house is sitting and its dispositor.
Okay.
Like for example, the fourth lord, let us say it is Moon for Mesha.
Okay.
Let us say it is in the center point 15 degrees. Moon is the only fourth lord. So Moon is sitting in, let us say, Sagittarius. Jupiter is very important to understand the event rolling for the fourth house. For mother, or for buying a property, or buying a car.
Okay.
So the dispositor, very important. Next level, we also go into the Amsha Kundali and then see the same things where they are placed. The Karaka, the Adipati and the dispositor. If the dispositor is badly placed, then you can understand that things are happening but the dispositor is not blessing. So that means he will stop this event here.
Okay.
So we need to see if all these three fellows are blessing, you will 100% buy a house, or you will very well go for a long trip or a journey or some pilgrimage. Nobody will stop you. So if you are not fully aware of all these three factors, then one factor can become an obstacle.
Okay. So maybe that is the reason why the third factor which we tend to miss out. That could be a reason. For example, if somebody buys a house and if he looks at his dasha bhukti which is running, it is neither the fourth lord's dasha,
Correct.
nor the significant
Karakas.
of the fourth lord.
Correct.
Neither this nor that dasha. Then whose
It can
dasha?
also be the dispositor.
That is, and why did he buy a house if it is neither this person's dasha nor that
Exactly.
person's dasha? So
See,
probably this could be a
there is a minor requirement here. Then how will we know that whether the dispositor is good to the native or not? So the number of houses the dispositor has moved from the placed planet, that is, let me explain in detail. If Karaka Rashi, that is Cancer, was the fourth house from Mesha, and the question was when will I build my house? So I will be seeing the dispositor of Moon. So as I took in the example, dispositor of Moon was, because Moon was placed in Sagittarius, it was Jupiter. So if Jupiter from Sagittarius it is placed in 6, 8, 12, it is bad. So
even though the 8 actually comes in Cancer itself.
From
Sagittarius.
From that, it will become a little bad. It will show obstacles. Though it is placed in Cancer, Jupiter and Moon have exchanged houses. It becomes 6, 8, Sashtashtaka dosha. Still, it becomes a problem. It poses problems.
Okay.
So, I think for this particular session, we will round it up, and we will have one more session. He has at least 19 questions lined up. So, we will see that one by one the questions are answered so that it will be helpful for my viewers on YouTube. So, this channel is only for purely learning astrology. So, people who are really enthusiasts about astrology, please sit over, make notes. So, he has made extraordinary notes. I was, I was overwhelmed when I saw his notes. Excellent. So, make notes and please practice. Without practice, nothing is achieved. Thank you, Bharat.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for this.
Thank you.
Thank you.